Some women bloom early. They know who they are in their 20s. They chase dreams early. They build lives that seem clear and certain. And then there are women like me, women who wake up late, women who spend decades living one life only to realize there was another life inside of them waiting to be lived. And so, if you're anything like me, I want you to hear me clearly. You are not late. You are right on time. And this is a story about awakening. And for me personally, that awakening happened much later in life. And when it happens late, it will shake you. It will cause you to question everything you thought you knew about yourself, your faith, your purpose, your relationships, and your identity. And for me, that awakening came in my 50s. Yes, I will be 57 very soon. And let me tell you something honestly. When you wake up later in life, there is a moment when it can feel very painful because you look back and you replay things and you wonder, why didn't I see this sooner? Why didn't I know myself earlier? Did I waste time? Now, those are questions that I've asked myself because I know that feeling so well. Because before this awakening, I lived a completely different life. I was in ministry. I was a preacher working full-time in the church for 19 years. And my life revolved around faith, church, and serving others. But somewhere along the way, something inside of me began to feel stifled. I began to feel like something was missing, like I was living a life that wasn't truly my own. And this feeling, it wouldn't let me go. As much as I tried to push the feeling down and ignore it, it surfaced time and time again. You see, what I've learned in retrospect is that awakening to your authentic self, it is relentless. It doesn't seek your permission. It just keeps showing up. It keeps gnawing at your dissatisfaction with life. And then it starts pulling back the curtain on things you once accepted as truth. And suddenly, you start seeing yourself differently. And you start asking even more deeper questions. Questions about love. Questions about why you stayed in situations that didn't honor you. Questions about why you gave so much of yourself away. Questions about why you silenced part of yourself just to belong somewhere. These were all questions that demanded answers from me. And the more I sought answers, something powerful began to happen. I started healing. I started learning about my nervous system, my emotions, and my patterns. I started understanding feminine energy, and I began to pay attention to how patriarchy and misogyny, even in the church, had conditioned me to play small and to sacrifice myself on the altar of organized religion. But as the conditioning began to melt away, I started realizing that prioritizing myself was not selfish. It was a necessity. And this is where I began to discover who I was outside of the roles I'd played for everyone else. And listen, that kind of awakening can feel overwhelming when it happens later in life, because society quietly teaches women something very dangerous. It teaches us that transformation belongs to the young, that reinvention belongs to people in their 20s or in their 30s. It teaches us that by the time we reach our 30s and our 40s, life is supposed to be already figured out. But let me tell you something that I've learned. Some women awaken later because they're busy surviving, busy raising children, busy building careers, busy being wives, busy being caregivers, busy being everything else for everyone else. So of course, our awakening might come later. But that doesn't make it less powerful. In fact, sometimes awakening later is a gift. Because when you wake up later in life, you wake up with wisdom. You wake up with experience. You wake up with the ability to see patterns you couldn't see before. You wake up with the courage to say, I will not abandon myself anymore. And that kind of awakening is powerful because a woman in her 20s might still be figuring herself out. But a woman who awakens later, she knows what she will never tolerate again. She knows what she deserves. She knows the cost of abandoning herself. And she knows the freedom that comes from finally choosing herself. Listen, late bloomers carry a different kind of power. We don't move from innocence. We move from awareness. We move from wisdom. We move from the lessons that life taught us the hard way. And that means when we finally step into our truth, we step in fully. So if you are watching this and you feel like you woke up late, I want to tell you something that I had to tell myself. Release the shame. Release the idea that you missed your moment. Release the idea that you're behind. Because life doesn't work that way. There is no universal timeline for awakening. Some women wake up when they're 25, some women wake up when they're 45, and some women wake up closer to 55, like me. But hear me, the moment you wake up, that moment becomes your beginning, not your ending, your beginning. And here's another truth about awakening later. When you wake up late, you stop wasting time. You become intentional. You stop chasing things that drain you. You stop shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable. You stop living for approval. You stop staying in spaces that require you to silence your truth. You become deeply aligned with who you are. And that alignment, it is so magnetic. Because the woman who awakens late in life, she doesn't need validation anymore. She knows herself. And that self-knowledge is power. So if you're in your 30s, your 40s, or your 50s, and you're just now discovering who you are, just now discovering self-love, just now discovering healing, just now discovering your feminine energy, just now discovering your voice, just now discovering the life you actually want to live, that's a cause for celebration. Celebrate it. Because awakening means your soul finally said, it's time. And when it's time, nothing can stop that transformation. So don't compare your journey. Don't measure your life against someone else's timeline. Your awakening is not late. It is divine timing. It is the moment you become ready to see yourself clearly. And the truth is, the second half of your life can be the most powerful chapter of all. Because now you're not living unconsciously. You're living awake. And an awakened woman, she is unstoppable. So if you're on this journey with me, if you are healing, if you are discovering your worth, if you're learning how to embody the most radiant version of yourself, then welcome. You didn't miss your moment. You arrived exactly when you were supposed to. And this is just the beginning. Now, I dare you to put the age of your awakening in the comments. I'll be checking for all my fellow late bloomers who are just now getting started. But until then, just keep enjoying every waking moment. Bye for now.